All right, welcome to Breakfast Daily. Welcome back. It's Friday, and so we've got our personality profile that we'll be getting into. And this is a face for Breakfast Daily viewers that you're probably familiar with, but in a different context. Now, you normally see her fighting on behalf of her party during our news review segment, but today we're going to learn a lot more about her. Her name is Maame Efua Sakyi-Aidoo, and she's my guest for today's edition of Personality Profile. And she's smiling radiantly as always with her dimples. Good morning, Maame Efua.
Good morning, beautiful Koki. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And you, beautiful.
Fine, thank you. Fine, thank you.
It's always great to see you.
It's a pleasure seeing you.
We're going to have a good chat. Oh, this is going to be good. All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're not strangers, but there are many people out there who don't know much about you, and that's what this is all about, for us to get to know you a bit better.
Okay.
So we'll deal with that.
Okay. Let's shoot.
So, Maame Efua Sakyi-Aidoo was born where?
Okay. Maame Efua Sakyi-Aidoo was born in Bolgatanga.
That I wasn't expecting to hear that.
In Bolgatanga, in the Upper East region. Yes.
How did that come about?
My grandmother was an architect in those days.
Your grandmother was an architect?
And worked with Nkrumah's program, you know, when they were building the estates all over Ghana. So she happened to be in Bolgatanga. So when my mother was pregnant with her first child, which happens to be me, she went all the way to Bolga for her mother to help her with birth. So that's how I ended up being a Bolga baby.
This is so interesting. Now, hang on, because I would imagine that back then there were not that many female architects. So your grandmother was sort of a pioneer, I suppose, in the architectural profession.
Yes, please.
This is interesting. She must be in our history book somewhere. We have to highlight that. Okay, so how long did you stay in Bolga after being born there?
I think my mother was with her mother for about a month. You know, it was just because of the childbirth thing. She needed support. My father is a medical doctor, and at the time was based in Kumasi, Komfo-Anokye. So my mother needed that help because my father was quite busy at the time, you know. So I think that she got help for about a month, came back to her husband's home, and life continued. So I was born in October 6th, 1972.
Oh, I see. Okay, birthday coming up soon. I'll remember that to get you a gift, hopefully.
Next year will be the big 50.
We'll have to celebrate that. So from Bolga, so we're drawing, you know, like on maps when they're drawing a route, we've got the dotted line from Upper East. So we go to Ashanti. So you're okay. And okay. So did you grow up in Kumasi then?
For a short while. My father entered the military after a short service in the health service, so decided that he wanted to be a military man.
Wow.
So I grew up as a military child. So went through a bit of transfers here and there. I grew up in Tamale actually, because he was transferred to Tamale
teaching hospital.
They have 3MRX, their military hospital. So that's where he worked, and I schooled there. So I was in Kamina Barracks Experimental Primary School. Wow. You know, then from there we came to Accra. He was with 37, went to Tamale, came back to 37, you know. But after Rawlins's coup, I mean, I think the military men there were a bit brutalized, especially some of the doctors, and he was affected. So after the coup, he decided that, you know, I've had enough of the service. So we came back to Accra. I went to Kotoka Primary School in Burma Camp with my siblings. Most of my siblings went to Christ the King School anyway, but a few of us, we're 6 children. So I'm the first of 6 children.
Wow.
So 3 of us went to Kotoka, and the other 3 were in Christ the King School. Yes.
So typical life of an army brat, moving about quite a bit.
You know, so yeah, I'm used to that a bit.
Used to that. Okay, so we've done Upper East, Ashanti,
Tamale, Northern region.
You know, but you found yourself in secondary school in the Volta region.
Yes, that's an interesting one too.
So Ola girls, what was it like being in school there?
That was pure parental decision, you know.
Oh, it wasn't your choice to go there. What was your choice?
My choice was Holy Child.
My school?
Yes.
Oh,
that
like
was
you would
my
have been
choice,
my senior.
you know.
Oh, nice.
My parents, of course, my mother is a Catholic, wanted to make sure that all of us went through Catholic school.
Okay.
And for some reason, she wasn't comfortable taking us to Central Region where we came from. So she took us to Ho. It's me to Ho. So I went to Ola Secondary School.
Okay.
And I was there from Form 1 to Upper 6.
Wow.
So I did 7 straight years in Ola Secondary School.
And now that's changed. Now, of course, we don't stay in secondary school for 7 years.
Yes. It's a pity because, you know, you kind of get molded and make friends, and your growing up life is actually formed in school. If you go to a good school, then you're lucky. And we had reverend sisters taking care of us. Yeah. Some of them were very strict, some of them were funny, you know, but it was a beautiful experience. It was a beautiful experience.
So we're missing out. Okay, let's fast forward a bit to your professional life. Now, we know that you're a trained journalist. Was that always in your plans to go into journalism?
Not really. In school, I was a science student. So I was hoping to be a medical doctor like my father.
Like your dad.
And after my A-levels, you know, rewriting the science subjects was difficult. In my time, you had to repeat lower 6 because of the laboratories, you know. So I didn't see myself, you know, repeating another 2 years.
Okay.
So I said, okay. My father is a medical doctor. I wasn't able to do it. So my mother is a journalist. So my mother encouraged me, go to School of Journalism. I mean, why not? My father actually said, you know what, go into the army. I didn't see myself there, you know.
Whoa! So you've got.
But I did my national service at the state protocol, and I had a lot of experience, good experience there, and it made me admire journalists and what they do. So my mother being one wasn't too difficult for me to go into the Ghana Institute of Journalism to read journalism.
I see.
After that, I went to GBC to work for a while. But you see, I believe that I'm an entrepreneur at heart.
Okay.
And working in the public service was good, but it was a bit too slow for me. So after working there for a while, I was in a hurry to start my own business.
Okay.
So after a few years at Ghana Broadcasting, I decided to try other private organizations so I can prepare myself for my own, you know, company. Okay. So I had a stint with Madam Oboshi Saikofi.
Yes.
She then had a Media Touch, you know, so I was her PA, and I worked with her. I enjoyed working with her. I also worked with Iola Multiple Concepts at the time.
Yes.
Before it became Charterhouse.
Yeah.
So I also had some experience at Charterhouse. And I'm a people person. I mean, I love to be with people. I love to help people. So I thought the hospitality industry would also be great for me to experience. So I also worked at the M Plaza Hotel. I started as a marketer, became the room divisions manager, then became an acting general manager at the M Plaza Hotel. Okay. So
you've had a lot of experience in different areas.
Yes. So after that, I went straight into my something I wanted to do.
Which was?
So I started an event management company, but my focus was interesting. I started an event management company. Of course, we'll do any event and all of that, but my focus was into the building construction industry. Oh. Yes, that's
event management and building construction.
Yeah,
what's the relation?
You know, I have organized exhibitions in the last about 19-20 years, and I have focused mainly in the construction industry. So apart from organizing launches, product launches, doing a bit of PR for companies, running ads here and there, I was also focused on exhibitions, you know, and I think my main love was for the construction industry. Okay. And I just think it's because of my love for spatial development, my love for interior design, my love for that built industry was really strong.
I see.
And I thought I should focus on it. So I ended up organizing seminars, training in the building construction industry, where in my own way I promoted architecture. I promoted the industry, you know. I actually started working with students from tech, you know, and encourage them and all of that. I was more or less a role model because from nowhere I was organizing these exhibitions, and they love to attend and see all the new products that people displayed, you know. So yeah, maybe
you inherited that from your grandmother. The love of architecture, you know. Maybe she imbibed some of that into you.
You know.
But our WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. We're talking to Maame Efua Sakyi-Aidoo about her career. It's a personality profile. We're learning a lot about her, and very interesting stuff we've learned so far. But I'm sure many people are wondering, with all that you've said so far, you haven't really talked about politics, but you are a politician now. So we all are interested in how you got into politics after your background in studying science, going into journalism, transitioning to events management and hospitality. Where did politics bite you?
I think that's an interesting one, actually. You know, we live in a community where it's important to support our society, support where we come from, you know. So I made it a habit of supporting people in my community, where I paid school fees for children who, I'll help parents who couldn't afford school fees. I was supportive. I paid rent for people who couldn't. So when people came to me for support one way or the other, I mean, without thinking twice, I supported them. And whilst I was doing that, I had the community probably, you know, look at me differently. I said, this woman would be a good candidate for our community. So I was approached by the MCE at the time, Samatukwe Okain at the time, at the Trobo Amasaman, to contest as an MP in Trobo constituency. So that is the Achimota of Anko Pokwase community. And
that was 2012?
That was 2016. 2012, 2016.
2012, 2016.
Yeah, so I contested, I didn't win, but I worked very hard. I think I made a huge impact in the community because it wasn't a very strong place for the NDC.
Right.
You know?
So what, were you always someone who sympathized with the National Democratic Congress, or what was behind the choice of NDC as your party?
Well, that's a tricky one. You're getting me.
Curious minds want to know.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
My husband is through and through NDC. So it was my husband's influence, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Mr. Wajeto.
Mr. Wajeto, Eric Wajeto, my lovely husband.
We'll talk about him in a bit, because people are saying, but you said her name is Maame Efua Sakyi-Aidoo. Why are you calling him Mrs. Wajeto?
I know, right?
We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so Mr. Eric Wajeto, good morning. You influenced your wife to be an NDC politician, and now she comes to fight on our sets with NDC politicians. But, okay, so you remember the NDC. All right. So they automatically embraced you because of your husband? They thought, oh, she's our girl.
Oh, like I said, I'm a people person. I mean, I knew I always give back to society, and I think that is important to do that.
Okay.
So when I went in to campaign for MP in my community, I didn't really focus on me being an MP. I focused on the needs of the people.
Okay.
I mean, for the first time in that community, we had water issues. I bought the huge water tanks. I think about 5,000 liters. I bought 20 of those for communities. I mean, for some of a part of the community that didn't have water. I also dug boreholes, about 6 boreholes in that community.
Hey, you were working more than
I'm telling you, I did a lot of things. Bought generators for people, but you know, I just needed to help.
Okay,
you know?
now, people talk a lot about the fact that you need a lot of money to be in politics.
You do, you do. If you want to focus on their needs, you know, and not just focus on you. If you're focusing on you, that is when all you want to do is give money here and there and, you know, go through. But sometimes you experience their needs. I mean, you get in there and you actually experience their plight. You look at them and you're like, wow, I have been blessed, you know. And these are people that, through no fault of theirs, they are where they are.
Okay.
I mean, the little you can to support them, you do to support them. So yes, I was vying for a position, but at the same time, I wanted to make sure that I support a need. I wanted to make sure that I impact on them. I mean, I had over 50 children that I was helping in school and all of that. And it was fulfilling for me.
Okay.
You know, it was fulfilling for me. I was sad I didn't win, but it was okay. After that, I tried again with the being a woman organizer.
Yes.
So I tried with, I mean, going to national, as in party, to be
the executive, national
a
executive.
National executive. So I vied for deputy woman organizer for the NDC, and God being good, I got
You
it.
won.
And I am currently the Deputy National Woman Organizer for the NDC party.
Yes, you are.
For
And
the great party,
congratulations.
for that matter.
For the great party. Okay, so let's get back to Mr. Wajeto.
Yes.
All right. So how long have you been married?
I've been married 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You barely look 25. How is it that you're possible that you're married 25 years? Okay. How did you meet?
How did we meet?
Yes.
I did my national service at the state protocol,
Yes,
like I mentioned, yeah. So somehow we met in the...
Oh, hey, you want to just brush over the details? Maame Efua, we won't fill out. Hey, okay, so you met at all. So there's the two of them together. Oh, aren't they adorable? Yeah, but you look, you know, when you see you and your husband together, you always have these bright smiles. You look so happy together and comfortable together. And 25 years of marriage is no small feat.
Yeah, I think that I am a blessed woman. I'm a blessed woman because I met him. You know, yeah, he's a fantastic man to start with. He's been very supportive in my life, and we have similar backgrounds. So something I may do that somebody else may get offended, he understands me perfectly. I mean, we all grew up in a, you know, we all come from middle, I won't say middle upper class, middle class there. But
it's fine.
You know,
middle upper
class, you know. We all come from that kind of background. So we're
you're equally yoked in that sense.
You know?
Yeah.
So we saw our parents did similar things. In fact, he was telling me that when he was younger, he didn't know that was my father, but my father picked him to school a couple of times when his father's car wasn't working, you know. So, and that was intentional. So, and we're used to, you know, our parents throwing small parties here and there. Yeah. So it's not surprising.
So somebody would say the dad about bringing was you both had it.
Small,
it's fine. Small one. No, but it's cool, obviously.
It's cool.
Now you
so when I started my event management company, I mean, he wasn't surprised at all. And he was so supportive because he understands everything that I do. Even at home, my choice of things and how I want things done, he's with relaxed. It because he's quite familiar with it. We have our differences, I must say. We have our differences, but we have a beautiful way of solving our problems. Oh, yeah. We never quarrel for more than 24 hours. The maximum probably is 48 hours, but I don't even remember the 48 hours. I'm just drawing a worst case scenario, you know, but we never sleep over a fight. Nice. By morning, I mean, we look at each other and we're like, good morning, and that's it, it starts. Back to square one. That's how we solve issues. So there's never a time where we don't talk to each other or, you know, like, there's a problem, so we are not talking to each other. We can't. We don't do that.
You're the best
we don't
of
do that. At least, I mean, we're very polite to each other, even when we are fighting. And it's interesting when we have guests, and we love to entertain, both of us. Okay. So it's interesting when we have guests and there's a little problem. You know, you'll never tell. Because we go through it so beautifully. I mean, lean against each other, hug. Then after when they go, we look at each other and we're like, are we still friends?
We should have you guys on a relationship show. Anyway, all right. So people are curious about the name. So Maame Efua Sakyi-Aidoo, Maame Efua Wajeto, talk to us about the confusion that some people have when they hear your names and they think...
I'm happy you brought this up. Okay. Actually, I am Mrs. Marilyn Efua Wajito.
Okay.
But my best name is Marilyn Efua Sakyi-Aidoo.
Marilyn.
I have rights to my name.
Yes.
And especially when I came into politics, I just thought, with politics, you need to connect with your people. You need to relate with your people. I am 100% Fanti. He is 100% Ewe, So if I'm going campaigning, do I go with my Ewe name? It changes my identity a bit. I always have to say, I am Fanti, but my husband is Ewe. You always have to explain.
Okay.
Because in politics, you need a block that supports you. You understand
this table you're shaking here. This table
you need a block that
okay.
supports you.
Right.
So I went with my maiden name. And I went with his blessing. He told me that you can go with your maiden name.
Right.
So I went with his blessing to using my maiden name. But people don't understand that. So when I had my huge billboards with Sakyi-Aidoo, everybody said, oh, she's divorced. Her husband left her. And she might have done this, that's why her husband left her.
Right.
But that is not it. My husband and I have never been divorced. We've never been separated. We're a happily married couple.
Okay.
So my name is a bit confusing because I like to use Sakyi-Aidoo in my political life.
Right.
And I like to use Wajito in my private life. I wish I could combine the two, but Sakyi-Aidoo is a compound name.
Itself.
So Sakyi-Aidoo Wajito plus my double Maame Efua. It makes it a mouthful.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? In my political life, I don't mind being Sakyi-Aidoo. And in my private life, I would like to be Wajito.
Well, there's someone who went to the school you wanted to go to and I went to. That's Holy Child. Her name is Sakyi-Aidoo. Now, she had an interview recently where she said that women should not use their husbands' names in their professional life, in the industry, and that, your brand is your name and you should keep that. What do you say to that? I mean, you're doing it. You've used your maiden name for your political career.
I agree to a large extent. I agree to a large extent. Depending on what profession.
Okay.
If you are in a certain profession that you don't throw too much light onto yourself, it's not that public, you can decide to use your husband's name or whatever name you want. But when you're in a very huge space, like politics, like music, like what have you, I think that sometimes it's important to identify yourself with your people. And the best way of doing that is using a name that you are comfortable with. And half the time is your own name.
All right, I like this. I think we've got some messages coming in for you as well. Now, remember, the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. I'm talking to Maame Efua Sakyi-Aidoo Wajito, and we're going through her life story, everything about her, so that those of you who watch it on our news review segment can learn about the woman behind the tag of NDC Deputy Women's Organizer, and she has quite a fascinating story to tell. All right, so Koki, good morning. I'm enjoying the interview with Maame Efua Sakyi-Aidoo. Greetings to Ghana's iconic Agric Minister, Dr. Usifri Yakoto. Okay. I'm watching you, Efua. Well done, sweetie. This is from Aretha Amenya.
Okay.
Do you know her?
She was in Ola with me.
Oh, I see. Ola girls.
Yes, the school.
The school. We'll debate Maame Efua this morning. But speaking of politics, right? Yeah. Let's talk about women in politics. We know the numbers don't favor us as far as participation in politics. Our participation in parliament, it's abysmal. Even when it comes to campaigning, with regards to people putting themselves forward in parliamentary primaries and things of that nature, you don't see that many women. Even when it comes to appointments, presidential appointments, you don't see as many women getting appointed, even though I think some efforts are being made to fix that. For young women who are on the fence, maybe thinking, should I, shouldn't I? I mean, for someone like you who took that decision and had a lot of support to do it, what would you say to a woman who is deciding or thinking of whether or not it's a good idea to enter politics as a young woman in this country?
First of all, I think that women, we're unique in our own way, and most people don't understand us, and they don't even know why we fight for what we fight for, and who can better fight it for you than yourself. So it's very important that as many who are interested in politics join the wagon. And when we have a bigger voice in that space, nobody will bamboozle us. It is important that we have more people in that space. It's important that we project ourselves the way we want to project ourselves. Politics has become a profession, you know, and if that is what you want to do. You know, you advocate for the ordinary people.
You know what, Maame, it looks like we've got a surprise for you, I've been told.
Wow.
I think there's somebody on the line. Hello, can we hear the person, please?
Hello.
Hello. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Eric Wajeto.
Really? Mr. Eric Wajeto, good morning to you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Your wife has been here singing your praises and grinning from ear to ear when she talks about you.
Oh.
So we're very glad that you've decided to call in and to surprise her. But yes, no, to be honest though, she's had nothing but wonderful things to say about you and to say about your marriage. And from the husband's perspective, in 1 minute, give us a summary of what it's like being married to Maame Efua Sakyi-Aidoo Wajeto.
Efua is a lovely person. She's very caring. But at the same time, too, it's a challenge living with Efua.
Oh.
Because she wants to do so many things at the same time. You know, and it's not always easy to try and get there to slow down and fix things a step at a time. She's really a people's person, as I've already said, and she's always gone so much or very much out of her way to try and make everybody around her feel very comfortable. Sometimes even at her own loss, of her own parents, you know. But it's been good, and I wish her the very best. She knows I'm there for her. I always try and encourage to what she really wants to do. Sometimes I have to pull the brakes a little, but you know, that's normal.
Your wife is a go-getter.
I thank you for interviewing her and letting her tell the story.
Yeah. And we thank you for supporting her, for every week letting her come to our show and talk politics on air. No, but thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for calling in. We will. Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye. All right. So that was Eric Wajeto, who's Maame Efua's husband, just calling in to surprise you and to sing your praises a bit more as well. Hey, but your husband says sometimes you're
Kofi, life is short. Life is short, you know, life is short.
Life is short.
And if you have the potential to do more, why can't you do it? Like I was telling you, I'm a self-styled interior designer. I have an event management company. I do projects. I'm into logistics. After doing my master's in engineering projects management, I'm doing another one in
logistics.
MBA in logistics.
Now,
you know?
See, this is why he says sometimes you have to pull the brakes. But I agree with you.
Sometimes I started a master's in marketing. I never finished. You know, so he says you do too many things at the same time. You know, but I mean, I hope that what I've started, I'm going to finish. And but I just think that I have what it takes. As I speak to you, I publish construction magazines.
Wow.
I have a few in my car. I forgot to bring it up.
Oh my goodness.
And the quality is, I don't what's the word?
You don't compromise on quality.
I don't compromise on quality. I don't compromise on quality.
And you shouldn't.
So,
you shouldn't.
Yes, I don't see why.
I've
actually had a clothing making
business as
well. I mean, I had Wajeto collections before. I mean, I've done so many things. I
like your approach. Try it.
I do it. I mean, if I
it.
feel like doing it, I do it. If I can afford it, I do it. Now I'm trying to convince him to, so we get into another business. And it's difficult convincing him because he's a banker. He doesn't want to take some risk. You know, he's risk averse.
Okay.
Unlike me, that I'm an entrepreneur.
Right.
It comes to me easily. I go out there and I'm like,
you know,
I'm a risk taker. I'm like, you know what? I think this thing will work.
But then you balance each other out well.
Yeah, we do.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
What about your kids? How many do you have?
I have 3 children.
Yes.
And My first boy is 24. My second one is 20. A lovely girl. I have 2 lovely girls.
Aww.
And my last one is 13. So the 2 of them are in the university. And my last one is
the last baby.
Is in secondary school. So.
We've got more messages coming in for you. Maame Efua is an amazing mother and role model. She's the best mom in the world, and we love her to bits. God keep watching her. This is from Aurel.
Oh,
do you know Aurel?
Yeah, my nephew, my lovely nephew.
Oh, he is. Oh, nice. My name is Laurentia. Hi, Laurentia. I'm also Laurentia. Okay. Efua has always been sweet. I wish her the best. Oh, we were at GIJ together.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
so
yes.
you know this person.
She was one as well.
Really? Wow. Hi, please, whatever my
Laurensha
lovely...
Thompson.
Laurensha Thompson. Okay, good morning, Laurensha Thompson.
I think, what's her name? Kesado mentioned her. While she was here.
Yes, okay, so you saw that show as well.
Yeah.
All right. Please, whatever my lovely admirer is saying is so true because I'm a witness to it. Tell her I love her so much for her kind heart. But you didn't include your name. Okay. Good morning, my incoming National Women Organizer. Okay. I'm Prince watching live from WA. I'm enjoying her life stories and her advice. NDC is much richer with wonderful women like you. He wants to know when you're coming to the Upper West, especially to WA. So, okay. I'm Jane Kokui. Tell her I admire her a lot. Just see how her husband's surprise is putting a smile on her face. I'm glad you've had her on because when I saw her on set this week, I was curious to know her more. Go higher. Okay. Anise says, I met Maame Efua some months ago and I will attest to the fact that she's a great woman with a kind heart. Well, that's lovely. All of these people have so many wonderful things to say about you, Maame Efua.
Nice. Thank you.
That's a testament to your sweet nature, I think. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Now, your kids, any of them following in your footsteps?
Mavik, my older boy, actually started medicine and decided that he's had enough of it, so he stopped somewhere along the line and decided to do computer science, and he's doing fantastic in there as well.
Okay.
So I have no grudges. And my beautiful daughter, Ashley Ann Wajito, she herself calls herself Ashley Ann Waj, you know. She's also in Ashesi University, pursuing MIS. And I have my 13-year-old, Adeline Mary, and she's also a fantastic student, and she wants to become an engineer. Yeah, so...
You're blessed. Your family has had architects, doctors, journalists, and now the next generation is going to be super as well. Okay. The next. So, what can we look for or look forward to from you? We know you're currently the Deputy National Women's Organizer for the NDC. You still have your own entrepreneurial journey that's growing, and we'll see how far it will grow, Mr. Wajito. Let's see what the next project is.
He's a fantastic support, because when you have your own business and you're into politics, your business kind of dies because your focus, your energy, your resources all goes into politics, and then the business suffers. And honestly, he's been my support. And I thank him for it, and I want to encourage him to keep doing what he does, you know, and maybe more. When it comes to being a politician and being a woman, I believe that God has blessed me, and it's only right that I impact that on other people, on other women. I have traveled around the country, and it's heartwarming when you see women who have nothing and yet they want to give. Then you ask yourself that you've been blessed, why don't you give?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, I have seen women in such needy situations, and it's only natural of me to support when I can support. Sometimes when I cannot, I ask other people to help me support them. Okay.
Will you run for MP again, do you think? Or
yes,
any other?
I would like to run for MP again.
You would?
Yeah, I would like to do, but not in the same community. I want to go to the central region this time.
Oh yeah, you're going to your roots.
I want to go to my roots. I think in the central region, women needs women to support them. I'm actually starting an NGO, or I've registered an NGO that is called WIDA, and that is Women Entrepreneurs Supporting and empowering other women, you know, in rural areas. So basically, my whole agenda is that I have the political space to impact on women and the community at large.
Okay.
And that is my focus. I want to make sure that women turn the little thing they have into bigger things.
Fantastic.
So those who are farming, those who are, it doesn't matter what they do, I want to help them enhance what they do.
Maame Efua, people don't want this conversation to end though. Good morning. Tell Maame Efua I like what she's doing for our party. He wants to get in touch with you. Okay. Maame Efua is a wonderful person and a great asset to the party. Love you, girl. From Phyllis Engman. I know. Phyllis, hi. Okay. Tahiru from Bolga says she should keep it up. We're looking up to her. I enjoy the program. I love the conversation with Maame Efua. We're enjoying it. So much inspiration. This is Afa Sule from Yendi. Anis says, with all her credentials and kind heart, we need her in Parliament in 2024, inshallah. Maame Efua is my role model. She's always beaming with smiles, and that's the magic of winning all the time. That's Abraham of Star FM. And please tell her to leave her social media handles for some of us who admire her so much. This is Prince, and he says the WA Central NDC Youth Working Committee and WAEC Branch Communication Officer of the great NDC. So how can people get in touch with you on social media?
I'm not great with social media, but
Really?
I try.
You should be.
I am on Facebook.
Okay.
And I'm on WhatsApp. I'll give them my number, so if they
Oh,
want
you would? Okay. All right. Very
contact
quickly.
me on WhatsApp, that's fine. So my number is 0244 321 969.
Okay. One more time.
0244 321 969.
You're going to get so many calls today. Maame Efua Sakyi-Aidoo Wajeto, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Kokwi.
We'll have to do part 2 of this convo.
We have to.
All right, that was our personality profile.
And Kokwi, I want to say that I really admire you. God
you
bless
admire
you
me.
and keep
no,
it
God
up.
bless you. Thank you so much, Maame Efua.
Thank
You're an
you for
inspiration
having
to so
me.
many of us.
Thank you very much.
Right. Stay tuned. The show is not over. This is Breakfast Daily on City TV. WhatsApp 0550 585832. We'll be